man's personality and character is exuded through his haircut. Your image is important. Our high-end services range from a traditional haircut and shave to gray blending, beard shaping, and unwanted hair removal. Located at 425 Victoria Avenue East. Book your appointment online now at modernmen.ca or call Tammy, 306-522-4111. Modern Men, a haircut for the modern man.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
Listen, I know that I'm a stickler for details. I come from the old school, learn it from my dad, and I know our next guest, Bill Chow's from the old school. I've heard in past places that I've worked that I wasn't that well liked because guess what? I held people accountable. And
that's
also,
what I'm
guess
saying.
What? We won!
How about that?
Details, details, details. Details win, details lose. Are you winning now?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. G'day, Canada. Welcome to the RP Show. We are coming to you out of the bunker here in Western Canada. Dupes Moose is here with me as usual. How you doing, Dupes?
I'm well.
405 shows now.
Yeah.
It's getting to be a lot.
It is.
It's getting to be a lot. You were just pointing out the Dakota Shepley recent Instagram post, the former Rough Rider, now of the San Francisco 49ers. You didn't read what he wrote, did you? You were just so in awe of what he was wearing and how he looked.
I know. Sounds creepy.
The reason being, it's National Sweatpants Day today.
Oh, he had the roots. Yeah, okay, I got it now.
That was why he was posting the photo there. So welcome inside, everybody. Good afternoon to the Eastern fans and good morning to the Western fans. Hope you're ready to talk sports for the next 2 hours and have some fun. We got some great guests. Kim Coates will be joining us in moments. Star of Sons of Anarchy, Bad Blood, Bad Boys 2, I believe. I'll have to look that up in his filmography. I think it's Bad Blood 2. And Kelly Hrudey, the ageless and peerless Kelly Hrudey will be joining us in hour 2 from Calgary, and I'm very much looking forward to that. Appreciate those that are chiming in with their comments. Just a reminder, viewer takeover comes in the last segment. This segment is for the Quick Six Show topics. Please, Jordan, let's hit it. Thank you. As the warm-up is brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Come in and warm up at the Four Seasons. Obviously, point number 1, the great Warren Woods passing away yesterday at the age of 66 from COVID. It was gutting news, gut-wrenching. Producer Clark has a photo up here. We'll be talking about Woodsy throughout the program today. He is definition of an icon. I'll give a little more of my thoughts in hour 2. I'm going to defer to Darren here in a moment. Clark said he had a few photos of Woodsy that he's going to roll. There you go. There you go. And well, listen, you can't talk about Woodsy without a smile on your face. He is looking down now, hoping that people would have a beer and celebrate him rather than cry. And I know it's tough times for his family, obviously, but a life well lived there. And it was suggested to us that we bring on some of Woodsy's former coworkers, and I thought, look, I met the guy in 1992. That's 29 years ago. I remember his first day on television on STV because I was in high school watching STV at the farm, and they're like, we've got a new sportscaster here. He's from Ontario, Warren Woods. Warren, welcome to STV. What made you want to come to Regina? Blah, blah. And then from there, okay? Yeah. And we were kicking this around before the show with Dupes. I said, was he part of your childhood growing up? Because he was not only like through high school, but into the 90s. That's when Woodsy really cut his teeth, him and Ron Rimmer on Sportsline, 11 o'clock at night. It's 11 o'clock, and this is Sportsline. We used to huddle around the television as guys with our buddies, Pat Staff, my rec hockey buddies, whatever, and watch Sportsline and see who's Woodsy going to rib tonight? What's Woodsy going to say tonight? You know what I mean? That was the culture of this sports community. That era of sportscasters gone. Woodsy they don't make him like him anymore. There never will be people like that anymore. So I've got more stories. Like I said, I will save until hour 2. But I'm wearing my Rams bunny hug today in honor of Woodsy, because he was, for off and on, the voice of the Regina Rams for many, many, many years. But I can speak on Warren Woods, I think, as well as anybody, because we go back decades. Your thoughts on Woodsy?
Yeah, it's just tough news, right? I mean, I didn't know him as well as people that he worked with on a day-to-day basis, but we got to know each other a little bit in the community, and he's one of those guys. There's not many of them that are just so welcoming to somebody new in the community, right, especially in this business where it's so competitive. And I said this on social media, like, he had no reason to be as nice to me as he was, but we did the curling event back in October just recently, and we did separate games, but just wanted to spend just endless amounts of time, to the point where you got to shake him off your leg to go on the air, right? It's like, I got to go do my job, but he just wants to talk about this show. He was so curious about what we were doing with this show. Yep. And so interested, and we couldn't wait to get him in here, which never happened, unfortunately. But so that, and you saw the picture of me and him doing the Canada-West football game. I was looking at that, and I posted it, and it wasn't until later. I was mad that day when that day started, right? Because I had done Canada-West football on television the whole year. He hadn't done a game. And then all of a sudden we get to the playoffs, and there was an opening, and he came in to do the play-by-play call, which I kind of thought I might slide in and get to call the game. But by the time we got, past the opening kickoff, we just clicked like this, and we were having endless laughs, and you kind of forget about that stuff. And the last thing I wanted to point out is, everybody on social media last night, you saw this, saying, I'm cheering for the Leafs tonight because of Woodsy. Well, I think that's a little premature, because if we know him, he probably isn't even in the building yet. He'd be still socializing with everybody in the lineup on the way in. So the Leafs will win one for him, down the road.
Well, he was a punchline as a Leafs fan, and he loved it. Yes. And I'm like, here's the Leafs losing again. So Woodsy leafed them. John Kirby's watching in Edmonton. He says, never heard of Woodsy. Hey, John, of course not. You're in Edmonton. But can you please think of somebody other than yourself for once? He's an icon here. Okay, give us a moment to talk about Warren Woods. And from Nelson Hakowicz, no one covered local sports like Woodsy. Loved in minor hockey when we would get picked for a game of the week, would always tape the 11 o'clock highlights. So, yeah, an icon gone, just an all-around really great guy. Speaking of the Leafs, point 2, Leafs Oilers. Here was my night. As you know, you were in the building here. I was broadcasting another show, the Recovery Hour. So I watched the first 15 minutes of the game on Sportsnet before jumping in my car and coming to the studio here. And I'll be honest, I saw all the pregame pomp and circumstance and Brian Burke and Elliot Friedman and all of that, because I like the Sportsnet pregame shows. I love the NFL pregame shows. Yes. Right? I love them more than I like the NHL ones. Oh, yeah. Just we're all getting geeked up and hyped up for the game. Still reminded it's brutal that there's no crowd at the game. And then honestly, man, they dropped the puck and it just started eye-glazing hockey. I started checking my phone and walking around the house. There was nothing exciting about it. But I will say this. I listened to the game on the way up, the start, part of the first period, and then the very end of the game and the postgame with Joe Bonesy.
Yeah.
And there, by the way, is the mark of a great broadcaster that they also don't make anymore, that he can make a crappy game sound exciting. That's Joe Bone. Right? Because it was a crappy game. And the Oilers obviously won 3-1 with an empty net goal. But Bonesy said something along the lines of, and you Leaf fans watching, maybe you heard it, this is a ragtag game or a mishmash game, something like that, which you know what he meant.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't a good game.
It was bad. It was the worst game I've seen in a long time. And not just this season. Like, it was sloppy. It was just perimeter play. There was no shots. There was no great scoring chances. The goals were all bad. I mean, you look at the goals. Toronto scored on themselves to open the scoring. And then Cassian had the puck in his stick. He would strip, but Austin Matthews scored from the goal line. Bad goal. And then a power play that Edmonton can't get their power play going at all. And they could barely keep the puck in the zone, but managed to get it together for about 2.5 seconds to get a shot in that scores, and they end up with a power play goal and then the empty net goal. It was a bad game. They play each other 3 more times in the span of like a week to 10 days coming up here. So I hope it gets a lot better, because it was billed as it was supposed to be the game of the year to date, right? It was supposed to be this wonderful Matthews versus McDavid. It was far from that.
Yeah, well, the one thing they were talking a lot about, Dave Tippett wanting the Oilers to play defense and clamp down. And you know what that reminded me of? Speaking of the 90s and Woodsy, it reminded me of the 90s New Jersey Devils, that you could not watch them. It was gross.
Yeah.
But they won Stanley Cups that way. And I'm not saying the Oilers are going to win any Stanley Cups, but I thought asking Connor McDavid to play defense is like Secretariat pulling a beer wagon. Like the Budweiser Clydesdale. That's not my line. I think it's at least Don Cherry's. He probably stole it from somebody too. But not allowing Connor McDavid to go whoo, 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 is a crime.
Oh, yeah.
But they won. So they're not making any apologies.
It worked. And, probably loosen the reins on him a little bit, keep everybody else clamped down. I don't know, but yeah, it was a tough night for everybody.
Producer Clark says, loved watching the 11 p.m. Global Sports broadcast to watch some junior hockey highlights, some local sports, and all that stuff with my dad. Good times. He will be missed. There's no doubt, from Producer Clark. Steven Lentzos, good friend of ours, says, on the other hand, game of the year so far was Habs Canucks. That's point 3. You're reading my mind, Steph. Now, I was watching the Golden Knights, okay, Canada's team. So I did not put it on Montreal, Vancouver, but I did see the notifications going off. Bing, bing, bing. Goals like crazy in that game. Tyler Toffoli, a hat trick for Montreal in a losing cause. Seemed wild. I don't know if you caught any of that game at all.
Just a bit, yeah.
You did? And what I've been hearing out of Vancouver is this unbelievable, unreal amount of pressure on the Canucks. And so I want them to win, because I remember Travis Green from his WHL time. We were in the league at the same time. And I want him to do well. Jim Benning, whatever. But I did for Vancouver. I want them to do well. So I was hoping for them to beat Montreal. The one thing I did see last night, somebody tweeted, the Canadiens are fun to watch. I feel they've always been fun to watch. Whether they win or not is another story, but they've always been fun to watch. Carey Price is fun to watch. They go at it again tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
But 6-5 in a shootout, the NHL is just thanking the hockey gods that this happened.
Oh, yeah. And it's so great for the game. And sometimes that's what you get when you get a good matchup like that. I think the concern, is with Quinn Hughes and with Elias Pettersson being so cold to start the year. But that means Brock Besser's playing better, and there's others on Vancouver that are starting to play a lot better. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to watch it again.
From our viewers, I love you all chiming in today. Mark Zosel says, watching the Oilers Leafs was like watching a rec hockey game. No crowd, no atmosphere. Chad Cavers says, McDavid playing defense is as confusing as 99 sitting on the bench in a shootout. Colin in Ottawa made a point. I don't know if he can put it up on the screen. It was regarding, he said, did you see Spezza miss the net? So Jason Spezza. And I'm sorry, I know guys that have coached him. They tell me he's kind of like Odie the dog. Do you know what I mean? Just a great kid.
Love having him around.
Lights are on, nobody's home. And you got an empty net right there to tie the game, and you miss. Like, I mean, 4x6. So, yeah, and there it is. He goes, I felt sorry for Spezza. From what I understand, he's a great guy. I don't think you're winning anything with him. But anyways, moving on. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. This is a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Point 4, here in the warm-up, the NFC Conference Championships this weekend. I feel like we could have talked about the NFL all week long because it's so darn exciting. The poll question today is, which quarterback matchup are you looking forward to the most this weekend? In the NFC, it's Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers, and in the AFC, it's Josh Allen against Patrick Mahomes. I got to think, I'm a Brady guy, so I voted for that matchup, and it looks like most of you are too. 68% saying Rodgers-Brady. Although the column that appears on our website right now, rodpedersen.com, from Mike Stackhouse, said he's pulling for Rodgers to prove that he's not washed up. And I'm like, what about the other gray beard on the other side of the field? Right? If you're cheering for Rodgers for that, you got to be cheering for Brady. It's a far better story than Aaron Rodgers, is it not?
Well, my first thought is, where's the narrative that Rodgers is washed up? Like, who's shouting from the rooftops that Rodgers is washed up? Because it doesn't feel like
nobody's saying that.
No,
MVP year.
MVP year, just finished first in the conference. He continues to get better and better and better. And he's found a real connection with Matt LaFleur and with Devontae Adams, the best connection in football. I'm most looking forward to that. That's going to be the most fun for me, Rodgers versus Brady. I do think at the end of the day, Allen versus Mahomes, that Chiefs-Bills game, is probably going to be a better game. I think that's going to be a really, really good game. I think the Bucs-Packers game, either way, has a chance to get out of hand. I don't see it being a shootout, unfortunately.
Jamie Neugebauer writes in, the voice of the Notre Dame Hounds. He says, don't you mean Henny versus Allen? Come on, Nugsy, watch SportsCenter. Patrick Mahomes is starting for the Chiefs here on Sunday. It's a doubleheader Sunday, by the way. I think I'd rather have one game on each day, but the NFL didn't consult me.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Get your can of chili out.
Yeah, point 5, I had, what else is there? And then I realized there are a few other things. The UFC, Conor McGregor is fighting Saturday night. That's a pretty big deal. Mm-hmm. CFL, the draft rankings came out, and we'll be talking about that later on today and more in depth tomorrow on a Flame Tech Football Friday. But the question is, would you draft Chuba Hubbard? That would be a great poll question today. The star from Oklahoma State, who's from Edmonton, would you draft him? Because if you drafted Chase Claypool last year, you would have just been wasting a pick. He's never coming to the CFL. Can the same be said for Chuba Hubbard? I don't know, but that's the question. Our first guest logged in, so I'm going to speed this up. And by the way, you have thoughts on that, I can tell.
Yeah.
We'll come back.
We'll get back to it.
And point 6, 6 National Hockey League games tonight, including Winnipeg at Ottawa. And I saw people waking up in Winnipeg today and tweeting and Facebooking, Happy Jets game day. They're excited there,
That's
and
good.
they should be. All these Canadian games are very exciting on a daily basis, and it's Montreal at Vancouver again. So, viewer takeover coming up a little later on. When we come back, it's our good friend Kim Coates. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus Television, live daily on YouTube, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. We got Moose DuPont here. We got all of the world out there, and we're very excited to bring in Kim Coates today. I'm looking at his Wikipedia here right now. You all know proud Saskatoon guy, but Tig Traeger, of course, from Sons of Anarchy. The list is too long. We only got 2 hours, Kim. Prison Break, Cold Case, CSI Miami, The Last Boy Scout. I love that movie in the old LA Memorial Coliseum. How you doing, buddy?
Rod, you're killing it. You're out of control now. I mean, that incredible opening while I listened to you. Look at your football helmets now. Look at behind you. Like, no, seriously, you're killing it. I'm so happy for you, bro. I'm so glad it's going so well. Your show is just amazing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it so much. And I'm glad you started with football, by the way. Before we get into whatever you'd like to discuss today, because normally you're like a team of horses. I just let them go. I told you, Darren said, I bet you in high school Kim was a bookworm and kind of kept to himself. I'm like, no! I met a guy.
Bookworm.
Yeah. Just wait. From Newtana High School, he says you were the quarterback of the team and you were a stud. Tell me about your high school days.
Newtana Collegiate, double blue. I mean, I think we had 525 kids who went there, Rod. We were the smallest school in the city. City Park was the next one at about 650 people. But Evan Hardy was huge. I love my high school years, bro. I played every sport that I could. I did play football, a lot of hockey. When I realized I couldn't make the NHL, I thought, well, okay, I better go to school, university. And you know the story. You know what happened from there. It all worked out.
I totally do. But when did the light go on that you looked in the mirror and said, I kind of look like a scary, creepy gangster, and I could make a career of this very well? When did that moment happen?
Well, Rod, I got to tell you, I do look like a scary, creepy gangster this morning. I mean, I worked till 2 o'clock in the morning. Do you know I'm in Regina?
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted that said or not. I'd heard.
You can, Rod, because I'm getting out of the Queen City tomorrow. So I can fend off all my peeps today, one last day. But I'm in Regina, brother, and I got to tell you, it's just so nice to be home. It's so nice. I mean, what a crazy world we're living in, Rod. I mean, we're doing pretty good up here in Canada compared to the States. By the way, yesterday I was when I got off set at 2 o'clock in the morning, I watched the entire inauguration, and I'm still crying this morning. I'm so happy. I can't even. I can breathe now. We can all breathe now in the States. Thank you very much. So I'm looking forward to going back home to that. I'm in Regina shooting a movie here. Karma Films, Andrea Hoffman, Anand Ramaya, Kelly Ballin. They got this incredible script called. You know what? I'm not even going to tell you what it's called because we might be changing the title. But Agam Darshi, this beautiful, incredibly talented gal, Canadian-American, lives in Vancouver, LA. She offered me this part that I couldn't say no to. It's a comedy. It's a dramedy, really. And we've just been having a blast. I forgot how dry Saskatchewan is. Like, look at my forehead, Rod.
Oh, no. How are you dealing with it? What are you doing for it?
Little cream. A lot of water, Rod. Look at your skin, Rod. You got better lighting than I do. I mean, I got, I'm still on my goddamn iPhone. I've got to get better, technological stuff around me, Rod. I need better people. Where's Clark?
I think it's absolutely. I think it's fine. But you would like the story. I went into Shoppers, a month ago, and I asked the girl if she had any foundation makeup, and she said, I have a show. She goes, are you dressing in drag?
That's a good part for you, Rod. Don't fight that. Don't fight
No, hey, I leaned into it, as they say. But listen, your fans are going to be tremendously excited, of course, because everybody's asking about a third season of Bad Blood, and I'll ask you if that's coming down the pipe. But at least we're going to have a movie with you in it. Do we have a release date at all?
No, it'll probably be the fall. This is one of those incredibly delicious indies that will go to the film circuit first. We're going to do the film festivals first. And if we do this right, if we actually do this right, and we've got a real chance, the cast is amazing. It'll be, you might see this sometime in the fall, maybe, November, December of 2021, certainly this year, for sure.
Oh, well, that's news. That's breaking news. Can we send that? It's announced here today that this year we'll have the latest works from Kim Coates. But, you're one of many folks, friends of mine, that have American homes, and they're all saying, I miss my home in the States. Rich Sutter just said it yesterday, of the famous Sutter brothers, because he's been watching Yellowstone, and he's missing his home in Montana. It's not quite California. Yeah, but Kim, it's been a gong show in California. That's the one. Are you almost worried about getting down there when you go from a coronavirus standpoint?
Well, it has been a gong show. And it's the epicenter now. LA County is the epicenter now of what they're not doing correctly. I'm not worried, Rod. I when I travel, I've done 3 movies and a TV show this year, all in Canada. I'm super safe. I'm super doing it the right way. I get tested twice a week when we're working. It's an essential service. Thank goodness for that. We're all doing it the right way. Shields, masks, the whole deal. I'm not worried, but I do want the vaccines to rapid fire for all of us, like now. I hope that picks up. And when I get to LA, it's because I've got a pretty big shoot there. It's called Action Royale. It's a movie for Snapchat that has been delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. And now they're finally doing it, as my showrunner says, come hell or high water. So I've got to get home, Rod. I got to get home. I got to get tested before I leave. I got to be negative, which I will be. I've got to get my limo driver to pick me up and take me to my house. I got to quarantine for 10 days. I haven't been to my house in 11 months now. Neighbors have been really good, taking care of it for me. My daughter Brenna is actually down there now. She's killing it in the acting business. Brenna is. So you know what? It's a crazy world, but us Saskatchewan boys, we stick together and we stay safe and we do it the right way. I'd like to say, and I am looking forward to seeing my motorcycles and my muscle car and everything else that goes along with LA.
And I'm sure they're looking forward to seeing you. I did have a question. Producer Clark's got some questions for you. The viewers do, but I got one.
Sure.
Who is the guy or gal that you hang out with that's just a pal that people would just be, what a star? You know what I mean?
My mom.
Of course.
Joyce Coates, John Gormley,
Gormley. Okay, in L.A.
My best pal in L.A. is Bill Fichtner. Bill Fichtner's on Mom right now. He's in the wheelchair with Jack Laney.
What a great... I didn't know his name. Love that show.
Yeah, William Fichtner. He's my boy. We met on Black Hawk Down. We're kind of attached at the hip now. We did this movie called Cold Brook a few years ago. Look it up, peeps. Check it out. It's a sweet, sweet movie, and we did it together. He co-wrote it, directed it. I starred in it. He starred in it. I produced it. I mean, it was just a labor of love for the two of us to act in something that we would normally never be cast as. We're like janitors that work for this college. We got kids, and we run into a stranger in our small town. And it's all about doing the right thing. Are you going to do the right thing? And it gets a little bit scary and freaky, and really good movie, Cold Brook. So Bill Fichtner, Ewan McGregor I see all the time. I see Eric Bana, my boy from Australia. He's got a brand new movie that just opened in Australia called The Dry. We're attached at the hip. I mean, there you go. Matt Craven, great Canadian actor. I love Matt so much. He's my buddy, my BFF. So, there's not enough of me to go around, Rod, like you. You know what I mean? You just got to give a little bit of yourself and see where it sticks.
You wish there were more of you. But look, it's funny when you rattle off these names. They wouldn't have meant anything to me except for Eric Bana. What was his Netflix show that was so creepy? He was the stalker. He was the narcissist. I just watched it.
Yeah, John, something John. I can't remember now. It was so
Dirty
John. Like that, Dirty John. Based on a podcast, Rod.
Yeah.
We could do Dirty Rod next. Maybe I'll play you.
Those days are over. Those days are over. My mind is just flooding, by the way, because with Mom, it's a show about recovery, right? Bonnie's in recovery and her daughter. I'm in recovery, coming up on 6 years. I have a million questions about Bill and who wrote that storyline and so forth. Yeah, so that's amazing, man. I'm glad I asked that question.
Can I ask you a question, Rob, before we get back to me?
Sure.
This is so important. This is so important to me. I got to know what's going on with the CFL. If I get, people, I wear a mask all day long. I'm like this, right? Only people who know my eyes and my voice recognize me. It's kind of a good thing for me. No more selfies. It's kind of amazing. But if I get asked one more time, Cozy, what's going on with the CFL? What's going on with the Riders? I got to know. You know everything. You and Clark know everything. Please tell me and your listeners what's happening.
Well, for one, you text me anytime you have my number. It doesn't feel like it's changing every day. What it is, man, is that they will play. I'm going out on a limb. I'm going to say they're playing because they have to play. Man. Right. But there won't be crowds. So it's like, let's just get used to there not being fans in that beautiful facility at the start of the year and just praying that at some point we open the doors. But you can tell them they're playing. Rod said so.
So again, and you know everything, Rod. I'm just your your avid listener. But don't we need fans in the stands? Like, this isn't the NFL. This isn't even the NHL and their bubbles that have TV contracts everywhere. Don't we need fans?
Well, you understand you're picking a small scab here because not of me, but they're taking such drastic pay cuts. Right? Okay. The players are. That's what the news is across the CFL right now. Even our beloved Cody Fajardo's taking a pay cut. So the salaries aren't what they were. So they're trying to raise some. Look, the NHL is playing with, they've sold helmet stickers, ads, right? They've named the divisions, the Honda division, the Scotia division. That's how they're raising revenue. And I just expect the CFL is going to do the same thing.
Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing you and Clark and everybody else that's involved with the Riders at some point this summer, because I'll be back a couple more times, man.
Oh, good. Well, at some point there will be a crowd. I just don't think from the start.
Good.
To business topics, and thanks for asking, by the way. Clark says Kim's in a new show with Kevin James coming out soon. Star of Hitch, Paul Blart.
Yeah.
He said, can he talk about that project?
Yeah. Yeah, I did one show. Kevin James, he's just, he's a funny boy. He's hysterically funny. He's got a brand new show. It's based on NASCAR. You guys would like to know.
Yep.
It's called The Crew. We filmed it way back in January before I went to Slovakia to do this big vampire thing. And it was just a one-off. It was a 1 week. We had a live audience. It was packed. Everyone kept screaming my name, Tig, Tig. And Kevin had to go, calm down, peeps, calm down. Let's get through this scene and that scene. I don't know if you've ever been to a sitcom live audience thing, but it's quite unbelievable, really. It's like doing a live play. I had a lot of fun, and I play a real dickhead who owns a team, who doesn't want to own the team anymore. And he's best friends with Kevin, and all he wants to do is drink and shoot deer and eat meat. So it was fun. I can't wait to see it. It opens in February on Netflix, but just one show for me. I just wanted to guest star for him because he's such a good friend of mine.
Well, I can't wait to see that. Yeah, that is. I've been in David Letterman's crowd, and that was something, but not a sitcom. That's on my bucket list.
You know what I'm talking about.
Same idea. Yeah. Great question from Connor Anderson in Yorkton. He's watching. He says, what was Mr. Coates' favorite role to play? That's a good one.
You know this about me, Rod. I don't have favorites. I am just a really lucky, hardworking mofo from Saskatoon.
Yeah.
And it's all worked out for me. I from all the movies I've done, Bad Blood, which I co-produced and starred in, we won all those Canadian Screen Awards for, and a huge hit on Netflix. To me being here in Regina in this little beautiful indie film, I'm just so. And I went back on stage a couple years ago in a play called Jerusalem. I won Best Actor, Best Play, Best Director. I did it with my daughter Brenna. She came right from Broadway to star with her dad. That's a bucket list thing that I can check off now. I don't have favorites. I'm just really lucky that I'm so old now that I get to say no a lot. And the ones I say yes to are for a reason, because they're either beautifully written or it's a beautiful role, or I want to work with this director, or I get to come home to Saskatchewan and see my mom for 4 days and stay at the James Hotel and keep the mask on. And my mom will go, oh, just give me a hug. I go, no, Mom. Oh, just give me a hug.
I want you to live.
No.
Yeah.
That's not happening, Ma.
Well, I'll tell you what I appreciate about that is with this show. So I just want to be on the air. People don't understand. Why aren't you going after that job? I just want to be on the. I just want to have fun. That's where I think we have the kinship there, right? We just want to entertain.
Yeah.
We just want to. But the people also know they put Kim Coates in the show. It's going to be a grand slam.
Well, that's nice.
Right.
And Rod, can I talk about one more thing real quick here?
Yeah.
It's just so important to talk. The Pegasus Project with Lori Leach and Vaughn Wyant in Saskatoon. We're raising all this money for Stars Ambulance. We unfortunately lost a pilot last week, Mikey, the Duke, and I got to meet him and hang with him for a day. And my heart goes out to his whole family. And, we're in crazy times now. Sad times, exciting times. It's all in one basket. But the Pegasus Project, I'll be coming back to Saskatchewan, Rod. And this is where I'm going to see you and the boys this summer. We're going to be touring Saskatchewan with this incredible 1968 Ford Coupe. Ford 27 is going to have over 500 horsepower. We're going to sell it at Barrett Jackson. We're going to raise about $500,000 for that thing, for Stars Ambulance. And we're going to tour this car to some Ford dealerships who have just been unbelievably sponsoring us and helping us raise all this money for Stars. I'll be coming back May, June, July, here and there to take this beautiful car and the awareness that Stars Ambulance needs because of what they do for us in our communities. So I'm a bit of an ambassador for Pegasus, and I'm happy to do this. It means the world to me. And guys like you and your show and us as Saskatchewanites, we need to stick together with this because we are so generous. We do give back. You know that. And no one does it better than we do in Saskatchewan. So get ready to see this mug a few more times this summer and late spring. I
can't wait. I can't wait. And for those that don't know, outside the province watching Stars Air Ambulance is exactly what it sounds like, Stars Air Ambulance. And Kim, I don't know what we did before we had it. It's been several years now, but it is literally.
Do? No, Rod, what did we do? How did we get to those communities? How did we get to the north and the south and the car crashes and these unpleasant events that we need service like that? How did we do it? I don't know how we ever did it. No
a lot of people died, I think, is the answer to that. We didn't do it. Right?
Unfortunately.
It's saving lives, and it is expensive. So, I can't wait to throw whatever we can behind that, whatever you need.
Good.
And there was a question, who is your favorite hockey player? Who was it growing up, and who is it now? Because you worked on the film with Georges Larac, right? Hard not to love Georgie. Who's your favorite hockey player?
How's he doing? How's George doing? He's doing good now, right?
Yeah.
We texted when he had COVID and stuff, and I love the guy so much. He's just an amazing human being. Forget about how great he was at throwing the Dukes and scoring in the NHL. But George is good. Good. Look, my favorite hockey player has been Gordy Howe. When you pop out of your mama in Saskatchewan in 1958, like I did, you're either going to be a Habs fan or a Leafs fan. It seemed back then. And I was in grade 3, I think, and my dad was a huge Leaf fan. And I was in grade 3, and I came home one day, and I had heard at school that Gordy Howe was born in Floral, Saskatchewan, just right by my house. And I lived by the exhibition back then. And my dad goes, we'll get in the car. We get in this black Etzel. We drive out to Floral. We see Gordy's house where his parents live. And I've been a Red Wing fan ever since, man. I mean,
wow.
I've been lucky to skate at the Joe with Chris Draper and played some shinny with the boys 2 years ago before they closed the Joe down. They flew me and put me up, and Eiserman's my boy. I mean, I'm just a real Red Wing fan, but I'm a hockey fan. And honestly, to see this Canadian division, Rod, it's the greatest thing ever.
It's the greatest thing ever.
It's the greatest thing ever. Every day now, when I wake up tonight, I know they're playing. There's going to be a Canadian hockey game with Canadian teams that it's the greatest thing. I'm just loving it.
Yeah, me too. And then now there's talk of it staying past this year. There's a real movement for that to happen, which nobody thought would ever happen. So, Kim, thanks so much. We love you. As you know, I can't thank you enough for reaching out. Good luck with the rest of the project, and stay safe, and good luck getting home and getting back to work down there.
Thanks for all that, Rod, and I will do so. And I'll say hi to the crew today when I get to work. And I'm out of here tomorrow morning, like I said. And take care of the Queen City, brother. Much love to you and Clark, and keep hitting it out of the park. I'm really proud of you boys.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Andrea Hoffman. See you, buddy. Andrea Hoffman, by the way, good friend, too, that he said he's working on that movie with. So please say hey to Andrea. Well, there you go. Darnell Theros watching from Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions in Saskatoon says, Kim's a quality guy. Go Wings. And I got to wonder if that's why Darnell's a Wings fan, too, because he's a Saskatoon guy.
Because of Kim.
Or Gordy Howe.
No. It's definitely because of Kim.
I could have gone longer. It's interesting when we had that informal poll of who's Saskatchewan's toughest NHL player ever. And we did kind of settle on Clark Gillies. The tough guys settled on Clark Gillies, but most everybody, the underlying thing was that it was Gordy Howe.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Yeah. I just learned this too. The Gordy Howe hat trick, the famed hockey phrase, a fight, an assist, and a fight.
A goal,
a goal, an assist, and a fight.
Yeah.
He only had it twice in his whole career.
I know.
Did you? Maybe you told me that.
That's what's amazing is that he rarely did it. But it was all things that he did. He had a lot of penalty minutes, a lot of goals,
assists,
a lot of assists. But in the same game, it didn't happen often.
Well, this is off to a great start.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Great work, Clark. We'll be right back with the RP Show you're watching on Game Plus TV, Facebook Live daily on YouTube, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
You need to adapt, and you need to move forward. You can't be stuck in 1920. Direct West is on the top of their game. They know what they're doing, how they're doing it, and when you work with Direct West, things are good. There's no going backwards, they're moving forward. My business would not be where it is today without the help of Direct West to help me with my website and my Facebook and all my online presence. I've worked with Direct West for about 10 years, and it's been a great experience.
Hey, it's Warren Dean. I understand more than anyone how changing weather affects your day, and that's no different for your vehicle. That's why I look to the experts at Suds Full Service Car Wash. They have a wide range of exterior washes, including Lava Shield with Towel Dry. Looking good, Natalie and Kirby. And don't forget their famous Suds Ultimate. Thoroughly cleans the interior of your car. Open Monday to Saturday. No appointment necessary. Head to Suds Full Service Car Wash today, where they treat you like family.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. Darren's wheels are turning, and that's not a good thing.
Sure it is.
It is a good thing. And I'm actually going to tell him what you said in a second.
Let's do it.
I got to get my U of R Rams logo out. I'm wearing this in honor of Woodsy today, the longtime voice of the Regina Rams. Sports update, Bo Horvat scored twice in regulation, then added the shootout winner to give the Vancouver Canucks a 6-5 victory over the Montreal Canadiens. Tyler Toffoli had a hat trick for Montreal. I'm just thinking of what Kim Coates just said. The Canadian division is just so awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It has to stay forever. Why did it take COVID for us to figure this out? A mouth-watering matchup featuring some of hockey's most gifted players fell far short of expectations at Scotiabank Arena. Leon Draisaitl scored the winner on a third-period power play as Edmonton defeated the Maple Leafs 3-1 on a night where the offense dried up. The short-handed Miami Heat beat Toronto 111-102 at Amalie Arena to end the Raptors' 3-game win streak. Fred VanVleet had 24 points and 9 assists to top the Raptors. Kyrie Irving returned from his personal pause to score 37 in his first game with Kevin Durant and James Harden, but the new-look star-studded Brooklyn Nets struggled and fell 147-135 in double overtime to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the BC Lions have signed offensive lineman Joel Figueroa to a contract extension. The 6'6", 320-pound Figueroa started 34 games with the Lions over the past 2 seasons and was named the team's top lineman in both. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room, Regina's newest entertainment destination, right in the heart of the Dewdney Strip, open daily at 4 p.m. and for lunch on Fridays. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. I like that Jeff in Winnipeg has written in with the point I wanted to make. Jeff says, man, Rod's Knights are just rolling. Complaint to TSN Sports Center again. Why you make me wait so damn long to get to the Golden Knights highlights? You're making me go to the Golden Knights Twitter feed for the highlights.
So stop booking Jermaine Franklin and those guys. Start booking the producers of this show so we can get right to the source. We can ask
them. Yes, exactly. So the Golden Knights are 4-0 for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Don't at me, but with these 9 o'clock Central face-offs, I'm not staying up. And they had their way with the Arizona Coyotes last night. They were not even challenged. I'm like, I'm going to bed. The one thing that struck me last night was that Marc-Andre Fleury is just so magnificent, just in his style. As a former goaltender, I appreciate those things. Do you notice those things?
Ish, not as much as you do.
Well, just because Mikko Koskinen is sliding here, sliding there, all over spinning around.
It's funny. He's doing that, and he's wearing number 19. It's like a player had to go in, and it looks like the result, right, is there too sometimes with Koskinen. You end up thinking that, so it's funny.
You get my point.
I do.
4-0 for the first time ever. What else do we have here? William May writes in, which I don't believe is his real name, but I'll allow it. He said, I had no idea that Kim Coates was born in Saskatoon. Love learning something every day. That's what we do here. We educate. And since we're just shooting the fat, as my wife would say, chewing the bull, you think that we could blossom this relationship with Kim Coates into something real fun.
Oh, yeah.
Funner than even what it is now.
No, at some point, well, 2 things. One, he did meet Clark, but I think he thinks I'm Clark.
No.
That's one. But 2, at some point, we're going to, the relationships, I mean, it's been a relationship for a while that you've had, but we got to get him into the studio. We're going to have to go down and see him. Potentially we do a sports trip somewhere where he wants to meet us or, in a warm location or whatever. But eventually we got to figure out what it's going to take for us to appear in one of his movies. At some point we have to figure out what strings do we have to pull. Like, I'll be an extra. I'll be a limo driver on a movie, or I'll be we'll be some characters with no scenes. But we need to appear in a Kim Coates film that is now on the bucket list.
Well, you are likening this to Adam Sandler, Dan Patrick.
It just kind of, it hit me after a while. I'm like, the relationship is kind of the same, and it's in the realm of something that might be possible. But I'm going to be very patient with it. But it's now on the bucket list.
As we roll, I'm just going to read some comments here. William May says, I'd love to go to Vegas and watch a hockey game and football game. It's on my bucket list. Join the club, Mr. May. That might be our next sports trip. And I think, personally, I'm a fan of South Florida. But hard to go wrong with Vegas, too.
Yeah.
Very hard to go wrong with Vegas. But with the CFL, unless I've completely misread it, and we've got enough contacts with them, and we've had conference calls with the league office, as you've been on. Now, I was talking with a guy with the team yesterday, and he goes, why is it so quiet? Why do we not know anything? And I've thought about this around and around and around to the point where I'm a corkscrew into the ground. I don't even have an opinion anymore. I don't even know what's up or down. Do you know what I mean? I think about it too much. But it's like, here's a guy, Kim Coates, a super fan, an international superstar of stage and screen, and he would just like to know, are you playing or are you not? And it's January 21st right now. The season's 5 months away. Training camp 4 months away? Does the CFL realize these big stars want to know what they're doing, and they should probably say, this is not a criticism, CFL. I'm just saying, they must know this.
Oh, yeah.
What are you laughing at?
It's the relationship that we have with the league, right? We love them. So it's kind of like you're talking to your wife or your spouse. Look, I'm not mad, okay? But let's address this issue.
We have to talk about this.
But we have to talk about this. I'm not mad. This is not a fight, okay? But it's kind of like, look, everybody wants to know, right? People want to know what's going on so they can start making plans, right? I mean, otherwise, you're going to be left in the dust. And when you do drop your season or announce you're going to play, we'll have committed elsewhere. Everybody will have committed elsewhere. Their interests will be somewhere else. And then they'll say, well, maybe I'll catch you next year, and you're left with no excitement. So it's important to keep those open lines.
The CFL is a really big deal. They know that they're a really big deal. But it's, again, you've got Kim Coates here going, what's going on? He could be your ambassador, but if he doesn't know anything, he can't be. That's kind of what I'm saying.
That's right.
We got people talking about CFL news. Let's come back with a CFL report after this break. What do you say?
I'm in.
Cool. And viewer takeover as well. It's our Thursday morning coffee get-together. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus Television, Facebook and Twitter, YouTube Live, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
This right here is time well spent. Why not pour yourself a smooth Saskatchewan-made Original 16? Warm up to the opportunity to seize the day.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
Building a deeper connection with our fans by putting them in the show. It's a new era of sports talk. The Rod Pedersen Show airs from 10 to noon, Monday to Friday on Facebook Live. Join the conversation today and tune in. Online, on your phone, at home, at work. Follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And subscribe on YouTube for all the content you want to watch. Don't wait. Do it right now. Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Boy, this is exciting. James Robert Henderson, watching in Manitoba, says, I really hope Line is ready tonight, but I'm not holding my breath. Do we have a Patrick Line update? I just assumed he was not playing.
I'm going to look.
Are you going to look it up? We're at a point now where that is TSN notification worthy.
Yes.
Clark's got it. What do you got? He's not skating this morning.
No.
James, and great work, Clark, on that.
Yeah, Brent Wallace said that too.
William May says, one thing about no news on the CFL is making the fans start to make up fake news, and that could be a bad thing with the league. That's the risk that the CFL runs by not providing an update.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing is we're going to sit here and talk about the CFL every single day, whether they like it or not. I would think they'd like it. They used to like it. But I don't know how or why they do things anymore. We talked about this the other day. I don't believe I changed. Maybe I did. The daily CFL report, and we've already got some nibbles on people that want to sponsor it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Better hurry.
We're not going to announce. Yeah, you better. Hey, it's going to the highest bidder.
Better hurry.
On cue, the daily CFL report. Iowa offensive lineman Alaric Jackson remains the number one prospect for the 2021 CFL draft, according to the CFL Scouting Bureau. The 6'6", 320-pound product of Windsor, Ontario, was ranked number one in the first list released in October. Josh Palmer of Brampton, Ontario, a receiver at Tennessee, moved up 2 spots to number 2, ahead of Chuba Hubbard of Sherwood Park, Alberta. Hubbard wasn't initially ranked because he was still a junior at Oklahoma State, but has since declared for the 2021 NFL Draft. Calgary's Amen Ogbongbemiga, a linebacker at Oklahoma State. How about the closed captioner next hour?
Please read that.
Sorry. Amen Ogbongbemiga.
Exclamation point star.
I know. I got it right. What about him? A linebacker at Oklahoma State fell 2 spots to number 4, ahead of Jevon Holland of Coquitlam, BC, a junior defensive back at Oregon. I mentioned the Joel Figueroa signing in BC. The Saskatchewan Roughriders signed wide receiver Jordan Williams-Lambert to a 1-year contract extension. Williams-Lambert was named the West Division's most outstanding rookie in 2018. James Robert Henderson says, "That's why I love you, Rod. Much love from Manitoba. We have repaired that bridge. Alberta, working on it." From Dallas Fedorchuk from Phoenix Group. Hopefully your sponsorship isn't from an energy company, Roddy.
I'm tweeting that.
Actually, it might be.
We accept sponsorship from all capital letters energy companies.
Put a photo with it and a smiley face.
What photo should I put? Maybe a GIF? We'll find one in the break.
Yeah.
Open arms?
Stop it.
Okay. All right.
Kelly Hrudey next hour. Let's update the poll question. Kim Coates just texted me, by the way. Not a big deal. Just putting that out there. Watch your toes. I'm dropping some names here. Which quarterback matchup are you most looking forward to this weekend? That's our poll for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. Brady Rogers or Allen Mahomes? And the correct answer is leading. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, 66% on Twitter, and I'm not quite sure what was up there on Facebook, but they were leading. Dallas says perfect. We accept sponsorship from all oil and gas and energy companies. Is that what you're tweeting?
Yeah.
What's left for time? 16, 15 seconds? Okay, cool. Kelly Hrudey next hour and more of all of this. Stick around, everybody. We'll see you after the break on Game Plus TV or right here on your favorite digital platform.
Quiet on the set, please. We're not doing a movie here.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Hey, it's Warren Dean. I understand more than anyone how changing weather affects your day, and that's no different for your vehicle. That's why I look to the experts at Suds Full Service Car Wash. They have a wide range of exterior washes, including Lava Shield with Towel Dry. Looking good, Natalie and Kirby. And don't forget their famous Suds Ultimate. Thoroughly cleans the interior of your car. Open Monday to Saturday. No appointment necessary. Head to Suds Full Service Car Wash today, where they treat you like family.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
Look like the pros. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone. NHL, NFL, MLB, CFL, NBA, and more. We have something for every sports fan. Autographed jerseys, prints, jersey stitching, custom framing, and collectibles. UFZ is your one-stop sports store offering fans official team gear. Check out Saskatchewan's Man Cave Corner on River and Main, downtown Moose Jaw, or visit us online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Built by fans for the fans.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Listen, I know that I'm a stickler for details. I come from the old school, learn it from my dad, and I know our next guest, Bill Chow's from the old school. I've heard in past places that I've worked that I wasn't that well liked because guess what? I held people accountable. And also guess what? We won!
How about that?
Details, details, details. Details win, details lose. Are you winning now?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
I'll tell you what. Happy Thursday, everybody. I think we're winning. We have... Ring the bell. Darren has officially declared us cool.
Yes, it's happened.
Because the star of stage and screen, Bad Boys 2, Bad Blood, Sons of Anarchy, and the last Boy Scout, Kim Coates, was on with us last hour. And what did he say? We're cool. So
we're cool. And it's now out there that it's in the bucket list. We will be in a movie one day. That is the goal.
With Kim Coates.
Our IMDb accounts will finally have a credit to our names. Yeah.
Such a super dude.
Yeah.
So I'm in a tremendously good mood today. I hope you are. Aside from the sad news, which unfortunately I'm going to get to momentarily, but as we mentioned, hour one today on our digital platforms, we had Kim Coates with us, international film star. Here in hour two, Kelly Hrudey will be joining us from Hockey Night in Canada, and he's an absolute childhood hero of mine. So it's a big reason why I'm a pretty happy guy today. But beginning February 1st, you'll be able to watch both hours right here on Game Plus television in all 10 provinces and 31 states. Again, February 1st, going to air noon to 2 Eastern daily on Game Plus television. So that's the guest story for today. But let's get to the quick six show topics. Please, Director Jordan. Thank you. So it's sad news around here in this part of the world. Very sad news. Warren Woods, an absolute icon in the Saskatchewan sports broadcasting community, passed away from COVID on Wednesday at the age of 66. Producer Clark has some photos of Woodsy. You want to talk about a much-loved figure, larger than life. That was Warren Woods. And it was suggested to us that we bring on some of his former co-workers, and I thought, why do we have to do that? I've known this guy personally since 1992. There's Woodsy, and I remember the day that he started at STV Regina, which would go on to become Global TV, and They're saying, here's this guy from Ontario, Sudbury, Ontario, Warren Woods, joining us today. Well, he went on to become just a gigantic part of our sports culture here in this community. It's 11 o'clock, and this is Sportsline. Their half-hour nightly highlight show was Jay and Dan in Sports Center before there was a Sports Center, at least around here. And there's Woodsy at a Pats game. So in high school, I remember him on television, and then it was a huge deal for me to cover the 1992 Provincial Men's Tankard Provincial Curling Championship in Yorkton, because I was covering it with Warren Woods. And we ended up at a house party one night, and some bikers showed up, and it was hell on wheels, and we laughed about it for years and years and years afterwards, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And just always had a smile, always would rather talk about you than himself. And when he passed away yesterday, the first group of people that I thought of was the Regina Rams football program, because he was the voice of the team forever. And he was regularly photographed in Rams gear. So our condolences go out to his family, obviously, his grieving friends, the very close friends of Woodsy. But the guy would want you to have a beer, raise a beer to him, and celebrate him. Right? So 1 hour ago, I asked Darren for your stories of Woodsy. Those are just some of mine. But every time I was around him, the stories of the 92 Tankard would come up, and just a laugh. And he was always doing that feigned golf swing, right? He didn't have a golf. Because he was normally on the golf course.
Yeah.
So thanks for the memories, Woodsy. But most importantly, thanks for being just a really good guy and a great father and friend. To point two, Woodsy was a Leafs fan, and wouldn't you know it, they didn't win last night. They lost to the Edmonton Oilers, and I think at some point, last night marked the start of the second week of the regular season. Are we getting too excited for these games? Because I was broadcasting a show last night on recovery, the Recovery Hour, and the deal was this. I watched the first 15 minutes of the Leafs Oilers before leaving the house, and I expected a track meet. Let's count for a second. Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, John Tavares can still fly. It did look like a bunch of Clydesdales in the muck. And I was saying to Darren that I was listening on the radio to Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. Those guys can really dress up a dog of a hockey game, and that's what they were doing last night. And when I was leaving the TV show last night, I had it still on my radio, and Joe Bowen said, this was a real mishmash, ragtag of a game, something along those lines. So over to the resident Leafs fan, who I don't think you expected a loss last night, did you?
No, and, they were I could say that they were outplaying Edmonton, but nobody was outplaying anybody. It was a bad hockey game. Like, there wasn't a lot of skill in the game. It was all to the perimeter. And maybe that's what both teams wanted when you play against a team that has that really elite high-end skill, which both those teams have, that it's, look, we got to protect the middle of the ice, because neither team got to the middle of the ice in the hockey game. There was there was hardly any shots. The goals were all bad. It was literally flip a coin, I guess, who deserves it a little bit more. I guess, Edmonton did score a power play goal, but the power play didn't even look good. It was awful. We're going to see it 3 more times, though, in the next 7 to 10 days. So I hope it gets better. But, hey, if Edmonton wants to play better team defense, they did that last night.
A lot of Oiler fans chirping producer Clark on Twitter last night. I would encourage you to do that more. He really likes it. The big-time Leafs fan. Now, you mentioned the flip of a coin. To point 3, the other side of the coin was the Vancouver-Montreal game. And apologies for not watching it. I was watching the Vegas Golden Knights, Canada's team, humiliate the Arizona Coyotes last night. I did not flip over to the Canucks-Canadiens game. I try to keep my mind on one game at a time, but I guess I missed something special, because I went to a shootout, and the Canucks, because the heat was on, and they answered the bell, beating Montreal 6-5. And Montreal is a lot of fun to watch. Most of these teams are a lot of fun to watch. But that was a real whew for Vancouver, I think, because the heat was mounting.
It was mounting.
And they'll go at it again tonight. Long road trip for Montreal continues as they visit the Vancouver Canucks. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. But not even a measure of revenge for Tyler Toffoli, who goes back to Vancouver, now as a member of the Montreal Canadiens, gets a hat trick, but loses. you shouldn't feel good about that. And you could tell at the post-game news conference he didn't. Did you see the quote or the interview?
It's that's what you want, though, right?
That's a kissing your sister, I guess. I wouldn't know. I don't have a sister.
That's high?
Well, it's a sister kisser.
Yeah, it really is.
You're kissing a female, but it's your sister.
Yeah,
so
it's not exciting. I haven't kissed anybody in a long time. It's,
but it's your sister.
You just can't feel good about that at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't celebrate it.
You can't celebrate it.
Point 4, NFL Conference Championships go Sunday. It is a doubleheader. And where do we start? We'll spend far more time on Friday on this because it'll be a Flame Tech Football Friday. But it's led to our poll question today. And producer Clark came up with that one. For Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, which quarterback matchup are you looking forward to the most this weekend? The NFC Championship, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. Couple of not goats necessarily. Well, Tom is the goat against Aaron Rodgers, who I guess is the up-and-coming goat, or Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. And this shouldn't even be close as far as I'm concerned, and it really isn't. Most people looking forward to seeing Rodgers, Brady. And that's what they're talking about on the panels, of course, on ESPN, which I watch every morning. And they're saying they're not going to be on the field at the same time. They're not really going head-to-head. Like, you understand that football vernacular, right? But that's not the sexy story either.
They are, though. They're going to go shot for shot, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm really looking forward to it. I do think Mahomes-Allen, the Bills-Chiefs game, will be a better game. It'll be a closer game, more of a shootout. I don't know that this game is going to be, back and forth, the Bucs and Packers. I do think that it has an opportunity to kind of get out of hand either way. Both of these teams really capitalize on momentum, and once they get up, they can put other teams into the ground. We saw it when they played earlier in the year, and we've seen it with the Packers. If you don't keep up, you get left behind pretty quickly.
Note to my family, let's do whatever weekend things we have to do Saturday, because Sunday will be 6 hours of football watching. This isn't the best weekend in the NFL. They're saying that the wild card weekend was, in terms of games.
9
this
hours
is a pretty darn good
per
one,
day.
though. Per day, yeah. This is a pretty good one, too, though. Point 5, I literally wrote down, what else is there? Because I was going, we're so heavy-duty into NFL, NHL, you could get lost in that. You could. Now, there's UFC. Conor McGregor is fighting Saturday night, and we may buy it. Maybe I'll have my brothers and their families over. If we're allowed, I can't remember what the rules are anymore. Order pizza and watch UFC. Yeah. The Blue Jays, people are still talking about what went down and the signing of George Springer and the almost signing of Brantley. That's exciting. But the one thing that I centered on, and we're trying to make a commitment to talk about the CFL every day, is that the CFL Scouting Bureau rankings came out yesterday, and Chuba Hubbard is in the top 5. Pretty big deal, right? Oklahoma State Cowboy running back out of Edmonton. And the question is, maybe that'll be a poll question tomorrow. Would you draft him? Because he didn't have a good year. He didn't have a good production year. He didn't play the full year. He had injury problems. Not only are you drafting him, but how high are you drafting him? I think you got to draft him.
I think so.
And while you think that's a slam dunk, nobody drafted Chase Claypool last year because they just knew he would never see a down in the CFL. The Canadian kid from Vancouver that's starring with the Pittsburgh Steelers, their rookie of the year. So that would be a good question. Chuba Hubbard's on the list. That makes this year's CFL draft pretty more tantalizing than normal.
It does. I wouldn't expect Chuba Hubbard, though, to come to the CFL right away. He'll get picked in the NFL. And he'll get an opportunity. He'll be at camp. He'll probably be on a practice roster or maybe land on a main roster. But he's coming off what we'd consider a down year for Chuba Hubbard in terms of the stats and the pomp and circumstance. And, we thought he, was, coming off, being at least a contender to be in the Heisman conversation the year before. Thought maybe he would take that next step forward. That's why you stay. But it was a bit disappointing, and then he ended up leaving towards the end of the year. So if that continues and he gets drafted and he goes to a camp and he doesn't perform, then he might look at Canada as a place to get his professional career off the ground and make that transition. So it's absolutely worth a flyer to take Chase Claypool in the CFL, Chuba Hubbard, in the draft.
Yep.
Unlike Chase Claypool, who was looking good, ended up going in the second round of the NFL and has no chance of coming up here.
So some CFL topics there, and last hour, Kim Coates, star of Bad Blood, Last Boy Scout, Sons of Anarchy. It goes on and on and on. Was with us an hour ago. He's a dyed-in-the-wool Saskatchewan Roughriders fan. Has been used as a team ambassador on occasion. In the interview from the movie set, he said, Rod, what's happening with the CFL? People are asking me every day. Can you imagine his sphere of friends?
I know.
And you know who it might be, by the way? Martin Short, Tom Hanks. CFL fans.
Oh, yeah.
They want to know if the CFL's playing, and Kim's like, what should I tell them? Like I would know.
He's going to go back, and he's going to talk to Martin Short, Tom Hanks. Well, Rod Pedersen said this.
They're playing.
They're playing.
Well, I've got out on a limb, and that's kind of what you have to do by saying they're going to play because they have to play. Yesterday, in this very spot, I think the exact same point. I predicted that they would play and gave the reasons why. Later on in the show, if you weren't watching, we said if they don't play, it's unforgivable.
Yeah.
Not only that they're not playing, but that I would be fooled into thinking that they're going to play.
Oh, I know.
So I guess my point was, Kim, that's what I said. You tell all your buddies that the CFL is playing in 2021. But I do actually believe that.
It feels like the show Liar Liar with Jim Carrey.
Can't
right?
tell a lie?
Can't. Well, he's unreliable. He lies all the time, right?
Yes.
And then finally, it's like, no, I promise. This is the one promise I make that I'll be there to play catch with you.
And Maximilian.
And then Maximilian, and then doesn't show up, and it crushes him so much more. At least when you're used to it, it's not a big deal. So this is kind of the same thing. CFL's putting all these pieces together, really building us up. And if they take it away, it's going to be a long fall. It's going to hurt real bad.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
They're over if they don't play. But that's why I'm saying, can you please just come out and have a news conference and say we're playing, and here's how, and here's why, and we'll see you in June. I don't feel like that's too much to ask.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's too much to ask. Just want a guarantee, that's all. Colin in Ottawa says Chuba would be worth a flyer at the end of the CFL draft, but I don't think it would be wise to pick him in the first 3 rounds. See, that's the question. And I was thinking we haven't had our director of scouting on in quite some time, Craig Smith. We got to get Smitty on here, right, and talk about this. He's never wrong.
I know.
You know, we went into the CFL draft last year. He's like, there's no way this guy gets taken. And he was right.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Hunter writes in and says, they built us up last year, too. I know, and I've said that. What did I say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And that's what you're saying. It's if you pull the rug out again, we're done. We're done.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're saying, Michael Hunter. But people were willing to give him the pass last year, and I am too, because COVID hit really just before training camps were about to start.
Yeah.
NHL, well, they were in the middle of their season, but they ended up pulling it off. The NFL had several months buffer, but it just hit the CFL at the worst possible time. So that's the point. Well, give them a pass for 2020. We're all doing that. There will be no pass in 2021 if they don't play. So they have to. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
From Ray in the 6, writing in on the Prairie Mobile text line, he says, good morning, Rod. I thought last night's Leafs-Edmonton game was a ho-hum game. I was expecting a lot of fireworks with the offensive talent on both sides. However, it was a big win for the Oilers. Big stars on both sides couldn't get it going. Ray must have missed the very first start of this segment because I said, look at all the talent on the ice. This is an all-star game last night. And they played with the intensity of a Sunday rec game at 11 at night. Oh, it was bad. So maybe we're expecting too much, but we're going to continue to watch anyways, which I'm prone to addiction, by the way. That's why I host a show called The Recovery Hour. I'm addicted to NHL hockey. I don't want to miss any games. Tonight I have my men's mental health group that I help lead, and I'm like, I don't really want to go. I'll be in the back.
Checking headphones in.
I'll be that guy.
Yeah.
Hood up.
Exactly.
Watching the Jets are at Ottawa tonight. Don't you guys know?
You got to watch that.
DG in Saskatoon says, morning, boys. This year's NFL draft is the year of the CFL player's son. You mentioned Jevon Holland, whose dad played in BC, Edmonton, and Sask. Trey Lance, the North Dakota State quarterback's dad, played in Saskatchewan. And Jace Horn from Torrey Gurley's South Carolina is the son of Joe Horn. Remember Joe Horn?
Oh, yeah.
Pulled out the cell phone after touchdown. All potential first-round NFL draft picks, DG says. So interesting that he would point that out. Michael Hunter goes on to say, turns out they didn't have a real plan aside from government money. A full year to think of different options. Need my CFL. We all do. We all need it. We all want it. And I just wish, I do believe an announcement's coming. I just wish that they could speed it up. That's all. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Point 6 of the Quick 6 show topics. There are 6 NHL games tonight. I just mentioned them. One of them, Winnipeg at Ottawa, Montreal at Vancouver. So with NHL center ice, I'm a pretty happy guy. Rock star of the day yesterday was Ron McLean, the GOAT from Hockey Night in Canada. Everybody's chiming in with snide, stupid comments about why didn't you ask him about Don Cherry? I'll tell you what, read my Weekend 10 Things column, and I'm going to address that. And maybe y'all will shut up about Don Cherry when it relates to Ron McLean after you read that. Okay? Okay. And I think today's rock star of the day will be one Kim Coates.
Yeah,
by acclamation.
That's sealed already.
Now, having said that, Kelly Hrudey may come from the poll, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Win it all.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
we'll see. Kelly Hrudey coming in next. NHL great from Hockey Night in Canada. We're going to talk a little mental health, too. You're watching the RP Show on this beautiful Thursday, January 21st. It's the International Day of the Sweatpant, too, by the way. It's International Sweatpants Day today. Not joking.
Wish I wore mine.
Yeah, you got jeans. You're all dressed up today.
Kind of.
We'll be right back. You're watching on Game Plus TV, live daily on YouTube, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-In Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
And welcome back, everybody. Episode number 405 of Canada's daytime sports talk show continues as we are live on Game Plus television across all 10 provinces. It's our distinct pleasure to bring in Kelly Hrudey, NHL great from Sportsnet Flames, Hockey Night in Canada. Good to see his smiling face as always. I'll say happy belated birthday, Kelly. I think you'd win a lot of bets on people wouldn't believe that you turned 60, man. Still going strong, eh?
Thanks, bud. I appreciate that. 405 shows. Holy cow, Rod. That's incredible. Congratulations. That's hard work. You got to slug it out and come up with new questions and a variety of ways to make the show interesting. I give you a lot of credit, my friend.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And going to 2 hours on national television here in a couple of weeks is a feather in a cap, but it's in no small part to the buy-in. Yeah, buy-in from the sports community from guys like you. So the thank you goes to you for sure. Kelly, I've been looking at the Flames schedule and wondering how in the heck are they not playing all week? It's probably the number one question you're getting this week. And you're doing a lot of interviews and getting things done, I guess. What's the deal with the Flames schedule so early?
Well, I'm sure they would prefer to be playing as well, right? They're playing really well right now. And I think everybody knows time off when you're playing really well isn't exactly what you're looking forward to. But, quirky schedule, everybody's got to live with it. And I'm really getting in the groove again, Rod. So I'm really enjoying it. I've been watching tons of hockey every night. And it's a weird thing. And even with the Flames, I was talking to somebody in the hockey community a couple days ago, and the momentum changes in every game, it seems, right? Like, even the Flames, they beat Vancouver on Monday, and in the first period, Vancouver was all over them, maybe the best period Vancouver had all season. They outshot Calgary 16-4, then the shots were 20-3 in the second for Calgary, and they built up a 3-1 lead. And I watched the Ottawa game last night with Winnipeg, and the same sort of thing. Just incredible momentum changes, and I don't know if it's going to change. I suspect it will. I'm hoping it's just the early part of the season, but who knows?
I'll tell you what. We had your good friends on the program yesterday, Ron McLean and Rich Sutter, and we talked about exactly that, and also that the intensity isn't necessarily there yet. But with these swings, like you say, it reminds me of junior hockey, which is actually my true passion. Yeah. It's so unpredictable, right? Which has made it a lot more fun. But I think the teams aren't getting a pass. In the NFL and NBA, if you have a slow start, shoot, coaches are getting fired. Like, there's not a lot of forgiveness for the fact that there was no preseason.
You're right. And, even like Vancouver, right? They're sort of getting slaughtered by their home fan base. Why are they off to such a poor start this year? And their power play hasn't scored at all. And I think they had the 5th best power play last year. And so with basically the same talent, you wonder why, although they're missing JT Miller. But it's really interesting watching the development of the games, though, because I went to the 2 intra-squad games, Rod, the Calgary Flames had. And the first one wasn't very good, pretty sloppy. The second one was much better. And I was actually quite surprised at the level in which their game grew, their first game in Winnipeg last Thursday. So I think it's coming. I think we'll start to see a little bit better. I think I've been reading a lot in the last few days. and the coaches are talking about that as well.
You know what's funny about that is these inter-squad games in Canada have been televised, and I think the Flames did theirs digitally. They streamed it, and I'm like, I've been after teams for years to do that. You said how weird this is out of the gate, and it is weird. I hope that's one thing that stays. I don't know if the Scotia North Division will stay or not, but televising the inter-squad games, why the heck wouldn't you? Your fans want to see it. Now, you mentioned watching hockey. I've never had NHL center ice until this year because I'm a Golden Knights fan, and they've played the Flames enough and the Oilers enough and the Jets enough. They were on my normal TV, but now we don't have it. So that's going to be weird, right, Kelly? The travel and so forth. We don't see these American teams. It's taken some getting used to. I don't mind it. But, yeah, it's just a weird feeling. Do you think we're going to get used to this?
I only hesitate because I'm surprised you haven't had Game Center yet till this year. I lived with Game Center, like seriously. But in previous years, with all my travel, I would go find myself, say, a Wednesday night in Dallas or something. The Flames are going to meet me, or they're going to play there Thursday, and I would come in earlier from some other city, and wherever I was at dinner, I'd be not only with my iPad, but my cell phone and watching different games on Game Center. But yes, I think we will get used to it. In fact, I'm sort of settling into it. It's weird to go to the rink. I will tell you that with nobody in the stands. And it is weird doing an away game for the Flames when there's not even a game being played. We're just calling it off a monitor. We're trying to be as safe as possible for health reasons. But I'm starting to really get used to my home studio. I think the viewer is. I did that for the most part all through the playoffs last year until the last 18 days. Then I went to Toronto. But I think it's something that we're all sort of accepting. And it's, I hate to say it sound like a cliche, but kind of like our new norm for now anyways.
Yeah, no doubt. It's funny. What a dream life you've got, right? That you're able to watch hockey. That's your job, and then talk about it. It is a great career. My family can't believe I haven't had center ice till this year either. But, 17 years I worked in the Western Hockey League, as you know, and I say it's like the golf pro that never gets to golf working at the golf course because he's running the golf course. You're a golf pro, but you never get to golf. When you work in hockey, you always got games or you're traveling, so you're kind of out of the loop with what's going on with everybody else. But you are the Flames guy, and you're a goalie guy, and I'm a goalie fan. So I just got to ask you about Jacob Markstrom. Has he met your expectations and Flames fans' expectations in the early going here?
He certainly has. And I got to tell you, I was worried starting the season because I watched, like as I said, those inter-squad games, not to put too much credence on those, but he wasn't that sharp. And I was like, maybe the pressure's getting to him a little bit. And, the nervousness of changing teams and signing a big contract, it's affected tons of guys over the years, not only in our sport, but virtually every other sport. And so he wasn't great. He certainly wasn't bad versus Winnipeg. I thought in the third period, he started to get much, much better. And then Saturday and Monday, he was terrific. But in fact, Monday, he won the game for them in the first period. As I said, Vancouver is terrific. Vancouver most likely should have had a 3 or 4 goal lead after the first period, but because of his play, he kept his team in and they were able to rebound and win the game. But he's an interesting guy over the course of his career. I believe he was a second rounder. He played 165 games in the minors, which is quite a bit for anybody. And I kept asking people, because at one time he was, I think, the number one prospect playing in the American Hockey League. And I kept asking some people, do you think he's going to make it? Do you think he has a chance to be the goaltender that everybody thought he would be at one point? And the answer was always yes. And so when he finally made his way to Vancouver, I recall having this conversation on the air, Rod, a number of years ago. Elliot was on the desk. Nick would have been on the desk with Ron, myself. And I said something like, for sure he's an NHL goaltender. I'm not convinced, and I don't know if he's ever going to be a number one. So last year or 2 years ago, I lost track of time. I said something like, I owe Mark apology now because he is. He's truly turned into a number one, and now the Calgary fans and the Flames are seeing that work.
I don't know how much of a Twitter guy you are, but I remember that game because Eddie Lack tweeted from Scottsdale. He's like, I'm so torn tonight because Markstrom's his guy, but the Canucks are his team. You know, and it's just funny, following that. And the other thing, by the way, with intra-squad games, I think people get fooled by that, because if a goalie gets shelled a little bit, and I don't think he got shelled, but he allowed more than you'd have liked to have seen, I think, well, maybe your shooters are great. It's like all those Rough Rider green and white games I've covered. Your quarterback throws 4 picks. Maybe the DBs are awesome. You know, you just never know what to read out of it, right? It is practice at the end of the day.
It is. And you know what? I left there after the second one going, I shouldn't read too much into it. For one thing, the defense, they were, cautiously playing the games, I'd say. There was no hitting. They weren't blocking any shots for good reason. And some of the shots that were being taken were at 50% simply because they didn't want to hurt their own teammate with a blocked shot. So, there are a lot of things that go into an intra-squad game that you're exactly right. Just throw it out and don't even pay attention to it. But there are a couple things that you have to sort of keep your eye on. And what I really focused on was just the improvement of the play.
This goes far too fast, Kelly. In the time we have left, I just want to ask you about one thing. You're not in your home studio, but if you were, I know you would have your Medicine Hat Tigers mask there and various pictures, and you would have Alan Kaler's book, Mental Health, emphasis on the men in mental health. And Alan Kaler is a very close friend of mine, and the guys alerted me to, hey, look, Alan's book's on Kelly's desk. What is the story there, Kelly?
Well, I met, in fact, he corresponded with me on social media a number of weeks ago, maybe months. And so we sort of stayed in a little bit of contact. And then I was introduced by Clint Malarchuk before Christmas. And we had a Zoom meeting about a project they're going to have about, I think it was about men's health, but then I think it's morphing into everybody's health because that's important. That's, by the way, I'm wearing this shirt, More Good Days, because it goes back to our daughter when she started to feel a little bit better after about 4 years of getting her help. And her saying was, she'd go, hey, Mom, Dad, I'm having more good days than bad. And that was, like I said, after 4 days. And this little thing here signifies her garden, which was her happy place that we tried to get her to. So Alan's a great guy. As you know, Rod, my biggest thing is mental health, talking about it, making sure people are getting the help they need.
Well, we have a little more time to go down this road. I mean, through the pandemic, there's a lot of hockey people, sports people that are sitting on their hands. And to be honest, they're not really reaching out. And I know that they're struggling. And whatever their reasons are, they just aren't. I expected to hear from more, Kelly. And just last week, you had mentioned, some of the struggles that you'd been through. What would you suggest to people? For instance, they tell me they're watching my show every day, in the dressing room with nothing to do, that kind of thing. And what would you tell somebody that just doesn't really know how to handle their lives in this uncertain time?
Yeah, don't do it alone. It's impossible. And you put yourself through so much pain that you don't need to go through. And so talk to somebody, a loved one, a friend, somebody you feel safe with. You don't necessarily have to go public. That's not what I'm suggesting. Some people can, some people there's no need to, as long as you're going down the path of getting better. But I just find that it's a conversation you can have more freely than maybe 10, 15 years ago, and people will understand. I mean, the support I had has just been the best way to describe it, just heartwarming. People have reached out. People have shared their story with me about what they've been going through. And I'm just happy to say that I'm feeling a whole lot better. I struggled for over a year, and I knew something was going on. And then when I finally recognized it was something that very similar to what I went through in 92, 93 when I was playing in LA. And I talked to my wife, I talked to my kids about it, that I needed to go get help, and I did, and I feel so much better. Wow, I just feel real again, I guess, like more like myself.
Well, you know what? We call it the talking cure for a reason. Getting it off your chest. Oh. And I was speaking, well, your wife obviously has got a special spot in my heart because she's a good Saskatchewan girl. But in Swift Current, I was speaking in Swift Current in a group, and a guy jumped up on a table and he said, I don't want anybody to know. I'm in a small town. I don't want people to know I'm struggling. I said, you don't need to tell the world. But you do need to tell, you do need to tell somebody. And so, I appreciate what you're doing. I just think the world of you, Kelly, as you know, and your help with mental health is I may even respect you more for that, and I wore 32 just because of you. So that tells you what I think about your hockey career, Kelly.
Well, I appreciate that. But I will say this, and I appreciate what you said about my work with mental health, because I will tell you this. I'm proud of my playing days. I'm proud of my broadcasting, but the best thing we as a family have ever done, the thing I'm most proud of, is our work in the field of mental health.
Well, it's a thing where it's all hands on deck, right? You will take all the help we can get. Kelly, thanks for the time. As always, all the best in 2021, and go Flames, and I appreciate the time.
My pleasure. Thanks, Rod. Great chatting with you, my friend.
The great Kelly Hrudey. And we'll be back, folks, with a sports update right after this. Viewer takeover and overtime. You are watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV across 10 provinces and 31 states, live daily on YouTube, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
You need to adapt and you need to move forward. You can't be stuck in 1920. Direct West is on the top of their game. They know what they're doing, how they're doing it, and when you work with Direct West, things are good. There's no going backwards, they're moving forward. My business would not be where it is today without the help of Direct West to help me with my website and my Facebook and all my online presence. I've worked with Direct West for about 10 years, and it's been a great experience.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
This right here is time well spent. Why not pour yourself a smooth Saskatchewan-made Original 16? Warm up to the opportunity to seize the day.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Hey, it's Warren Dean. I understand more than anyone how changing weather affects your day, and that's no different for your vehicle. That's why I look to the experts at Suds Full Service Car Wash. They have a wide range of exterior washes, including Lava Shield with Towel Dry. Looking good, Natalie and Kirby. And don't forget their famous Suds Ultimate. Thoroughly cleans the interior of your car. Open Monday to Saturday. No appointment necessary. Head to Suds Full Service Car Wash today, where they treat you like family.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. There's Let's get to the Trenton, Norway comment, because everybody wonders how Trent's doing, where it is currently 6:42 p.m. Trent writes, Norway calling. It seems like there's a few NHL teams that still have a corona hangover. Mental toughness is just as important as the physical in anything in life. I still predict a Green Bay, Kansas City Super Bowl, but the conference championships will be very close. Great points with Kelly Hrudey today. Stay well, everyone. You too, all the way from Norway, they're checking us out today. Roger Yee in Calgary. Hey, Rod, thanks for bringing Kelly on and giving a spotlight on the mental side of things. Need to change more attitudes on speaking to people, including me. Thank you, Roger. Thank you for noticing and speaking up. Greg Klevgard. Kelly's more than a great goalie. He's a great ambassador. Another great interview, Rod. Well, if I may, with Bell Let's Talk coming up soon here within a week. I think it's January 28th. They told me when I went public with my story, just like Kelly did with his, that it helps when public people talk about their struggles because it makes people that aren't public people realize, well, if he can do it, I can do it. Right?
That's right.
And it's not like we're homicidal or anything. My issues were OCD, ADD. What was I saying? That's a joke. Addiction, obviously, anxiety disorder, and depression. The Fab Five. And they call them severe mental illnesses because they are never going away. But we can manage them and have a great life once we get on top of them.
The Fab Five.
The Fab Five.
You're a five-tool player.
I've been called a five-tool player by TSN, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. We need an animated squirrel that runs across the screen. But we have Ricky, and it always gets our attention and throws us off whatever we've been talking about.
Ricky the iguana. So anyways, it does help to talk about these things and having a great life. Sports update, the Jacksonville Jaguars hired Trent Baalke as general manager today, removing the interim tag from his title and pairing him with new coach Urban Meyer. Team owner Saad Khan is switching to a coach-centric model in which Meyer and Baalke will both report to him to have transparency and fill the needs and concerns of both parties without really getting filtered or have a chain of command. Urban Meyer, though, is expected to have final say over the roster and most everything else. Who doesn't see a train wreck coming on the... You understand this, right? The coach has final say over the general manager on personnel? What?
Yeah. In college, you got one guy who kind of runs everything. Does the recruiting, makes all the calls. He's the sheriff. It's a little different in the NFL. It'll be interesting to see what Urban Meyer does with that culture.
His name's Shad Khan, and I'm just reading this again. Both the GM and coach will report to him, the owner, because you know more about pro football than Urban Meyer. Got it. Who's picking number 1 overall this year again? Oh, yeah. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Why some teams always win and why some teams always lose. Leadership and lack thereof. Praying for Jaguars fans. Kendrick Nunn scored 28 points in the injury-plagued Miami Heat. Pulled away in the second half for a 111-102 win over the Raptors last night. Fred VanVleet had 24 points and 9 assists for the Raps, whose 3-game winning streak was snapped. The Jets and Senators meet again tonight in the nation's capital 48 hours after Winnipeg came from behind to beat Ottawa 4-3 in overtime. Sens rookie Tim Stützle and Jets sniper Patrick Laine both missed their last meeting with undisclosed injuries. And our day-to-day Dupes reporting, was it from Brent Wallace?
Yeah, Brent Wallace had it that he was not on the ice today, but I saw from Kyle Bukauskas that he was on the ice yesterday.
Laine missing the morning skate today. So not declared out officially, but I wouldn't bank on it. The Canucks will try and make it 2 wins in a row over the Canadiens tonight when they host the second of 2 games in 2 days. Last night, Bo Horvat scored twice in regulation, then added the shootout winner to give the Canucks a 6-5 victory over the Canadiens. Canadian Brooke Henderson is in Lake Buena Vista, Florida today for the LPGA Tournament of Champions. Day 1's today. The Tournament of Champions features 25 pros and 50 celebs with a $1.2 million U.S. purse over 72 holes and no cut. This sports update for the Tap Brew House and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, corner of Rochdale and Pasqua. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now 8 amazing flavors. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. From our viewers, Mark Zosel says the Bengals are getting new uniforms next year. Still going to suck, i.e. lipstick on a pig. What I love about the new platform, rather than my old radio show, and the fact that we're on television here, is it's an entirely new audience. So my jokes and stories are new to everybody. And opinions.
Yes.
Because I've often said the teams that suck the most are the ones that go with a new uniform scheme, a new color scheme. Think about that. Who hasn't? Oh, yeah, the Montreal Canadiens, the New York Yankees, the ones with the most championships, right? Now, where I was wrong was when the Alouettes went with a new uniform just the last season, because I thought we've sucked. You know, this is what they're thinking. We've sucked so bad. Let's distract everybody with a new logo and new color scheme.
People will think we're good again.
Yeah. And lo and behold, damned if they weren't really good.
Yeah.
And I'll give credit to Kahari Jones and Vernon Adams Jr. for that. But the Bengals, awful again. And how much could you change the new jerseys? I'd like to see what the jerseys look like for the Bengals. Why would you change those?
I like them.
The problem's not the jerseys. It's the people in the jerseys. You fix that, and then you'll be on the road to greatness. Let's just distract everybody. I was in Phoenix when the Coyotes changed their jerseys. Same thing. Why are you doing it, guys? Just fix your stuff, and you won't have to worry about the jerseys.
Yeah.
What do you have before I take a break and come back?
No, that's good. That's good. I saw Janelle's been watching. It's her birthday today.
Happy birthday, Janelle. Can't wait to see you when the world opens up again and we get back to sports. Brent Kuhlman writes in, he says, little greedy here, but the only disappointing thing about your show is it's only 5 days a week. But seriously, love you guys and love your show. Thanks, Brent. Love you too, pal. Guy texted me yesterday and he said, would you guys like to do a third hour? I really love the story time. I said, you want to pay me for a third hour? I'll do it. He never wrote me back.
You always leave me wanting more. That's kind of the point.
That's the idea. Look, we'll be right back with Viewer Takeover. It's always fun. It's the RP Show here on Game Plus TV, on YouTube Live daily, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming. The Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Building a deeper connection with our fans by putting them in the show. It's a new era of sports talk. The Rod Pedersen Show airs from 10 to noon, Monday to Friday on Facebook Live. Join the conversation today and tune in. Online, on your phone, at home, at work. Follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And subscribe on YouTube for all the content you want to watch. Don't wait. Do it right now.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
All right, it is the overtime segment, and we got so many things that we talked about today. Such a fun day today. One thing I realized with this show is fans really love talking about jerseys and logos and retros and,
Yeah.
James Henderson in Manitoba says, I love the Jets' new logo, but I wish they would have give the 90s jersey a little love. I would love to see the Jets play the Oilers or Flames with those jerseys. I'll tell you what, at least when the Atlanta Thrashers moved to Winnipeg, they did rename them the Jets. They didn't go with a name like the Kraken or the whole, we're going to look ahead, because it is the Winnipeg Jets. Could you imagine them by any other name?
No.
And I do quite like the new logo. John Kirby in Edmonton says the Edmonton Football Club has shut down the team store. They're not selling anything until they can get new merchandise with the name on it, the new name on it, including jerseys. Aye. What did we say earlier? Kim Coates, star of film, stage, and screen, saying, Rod, what's happening with the CFL? My friends are asking me. And his friends just happen to be the stars of shows like Mom. What else did he say? The other shows?
Oh, man.
Quite a few Hollywood stars want to know what's going on with the CFL. Dirty John, right. Eric Bana. They actually want to know. There's got to be a reason why they haven't picked a name for the Edmonton team yet. I don't know. Is it because the Oilers played last night? I'm trying not to be too sarcastic here, but come on, get with it.
Yes.
What am I missing? Like, if people just said, what is going on? Can we get, hello? Greg Klevgard writes in, if the CFL doesn't play this year, they'll lose the young fan base, not the seasoned CFL fans. It will take years to recover to pre-pandemic levels. And somebody else wrote that in earlier. You're talking about, are they playing this year? They can't even pick a name for Edmonton yet. Telemiracle has a 50-50 raffle out. Did you know that?
I did.
Yeah, this is exciting. Very exciting for all of our viewers across the country. You might want to chime in on something here. Telemiracle is a Saskatchewan tradition. It is, how many hours do they do? 36, 48 hours live television on a weekend, raising money for the Kinsmen. Telemiracle. Well, this year's going to be a little different due to COVID. So the first ever online 50-50 in support of Telemiracle is live now. And you can purchase your tickets at telemiracle5050.ca. I probably don't need to tell you all the wonderful things and communities that Kinsman does. For those less fortunate, raffle proceeds will stay in Saskatchewan, will be part of Telemiracle 45, supporting the work of the Kinsman Foundation. The Kinsman Foundation is helping people every day improve their quality of life and independence through gifts of mobility equipment and medical travel assistance. 1 ticket, $20, 5 tickets, $50, 20 tickets, $100. You want to explain to people that you don't have to be from Saskatchewan to purchase the tickets.
You don't. You just have to be in Saskatchewan. So get on the phone. Everybody knows somebody who lives in Saskatchewan. Get them to buy your tickets for you. And the prize is expected to go up into the millions. I think 3.7 million is the max take home, which is pretty awesome. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's virtual, so I think you'll be able to watch portions of it online, which will be awesome. And it is something, while it is a Saskatchewan thing, people from across the country kind of latch onto it a little bit because it's really cool, and there's entertainment, and it's quite a night. So telemiracle5050.ca, I think, right?
It is. Telemiracle5050.ca. The winner will be announced on telemiracles.com's live stream on February 27th, just before the start of the Telemiracle 45 Telethon. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, has written in 20 hours is how long that live telethon goes, and it's been going for years and years and years. Couple last comments. Ryan Ostrander says, what's up with some of your terrible city councilors targeting oil and gas? Hypocrites. I don't know what to say about that. We're not in favor of it. Go check our Twitter feed. What did you say, Darren? You tweeted it.
Yeah, we do. We accept all oil, gas, and energy sponsors here at the RP Show.
100% apply within.
Yes.
I don't know. We, for some reason, have a left-wing leaning city council here in the city. It's torn people apart. I'm sitting there going, we put him in there. So don't complain too much. We just can't allow them to have the keys to the palace. That's all.
In fact, limited time only. Discounts for oil, gas, and energy sector businesses that want to advertise on the show.
We'll talk a lot more about this tomorrow. Taylor Soley says, hey, Rod, with the Riders releasing Kenny Stafford, do you think they will go after Greg Ellingson? My initial thought on that is no, probably too old. Doesn't necessarily fit into what the Saskatchewan Roughriders have planned here with a pretty exciting young group of players, receivers. And I am a huge Greg Ellingson fan, by the way. Yes. I'd love to see him here. Doesn't seem to fit with what he's doing.
Yeah.
Janice out in Vancouver, part of our sales force, says energy sponsors. Yes. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Tomorrow, Tori Gurley, Jeff Reinbold, and we'll see what else comes up. Thanks to Kim Coates and Kelly Hrudey today. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central on Facebook Live and right here on Game Plus at noon Eastern. You screwed up, Clark.